My name's Claudia Baratyre, and on this segment of Long Island Girl Talk, I'm going to interview Miss Armstrong on education. Can you continue on the realm of education?
Sure. First off, I started off at University of Maryland, College Park, where I was doing early childhood education. I went on to teach for about 3 years and worked with high school students like you guys, and wanted to empower them, show them that outside of college it's a whole new world. So I did a high school internship program, and in that program, I found that a lot of high school students didn't know about the many different career avenues that they had available to them. One of them was media communications, and so I wanted to learn a little bit more about that. So I moved back up to New York, which I felt was like the mecca of like advertising and public relations, and came back to school. I got a certificate in communications right here on Long Island at Nassau Community College, and from there I went to City College for their advertising and public relations program, and it's different. Like, you learn a lot. You learn so much about the industry, and from there I just decided that I wanted to continue on with education, but in a light where I was bringing this industry to young people. What I found was that in the advertising industry, the numbers of minorities and women are very low. Until I started getting into a lot of discussions with people within major firms and agencies about how we can educate young people on the industry and how to bring them in. And there are a lot of organizations like this one where they want to show young kids what the industry is about. You guys do an amazing job here. Like, I've been watching, and it's all about empowering young people to step outside of just becoming a lawyer or a doctor. There's so many other career paths. And right now I'm working with another program that is just geared for advertising for kids in New York City. The main goal is just to show you guys that you can become anything. You just have to have an idea. You have to have a thought process of what you want to do, and then you have to go out and set that goal and run for it. Nobody has the dream that you have, and the only way that you can achieve that is by taking all the proper steps to achieve that goal. And so here I am speaking with you about my career path, and it's been a whirlwind. I went from teaching to going back to school to learn about a field that I know nothing about, and I still want to be within the educational field, but I want to teach you guys how to rise up, especially women. Like, there's not a lot of females in these positions, especially at advertising programs and agencies and public relations firms, but we need a lot more of that. So that was my main goal, and that's why I'm here.
Now, can you talk a little more about the transition between your first schooling experience and your second schooling experience?
Yes. Okay. So, growing up on Long Island, you get a small community feel of everything. Even though New York City is 40 minutes outside of where we are, you still get that small community feel. I went to school in Maryland, where I knew no one. We were 20 minutes outside of DC, and it was a large public university. I felt like a fish out of water. But I stuck with my goal. In the beginning, I had no idea that I wanted to do education. I went in the medical program, and I took a couple of communications classes. I took a math class that was geared for young kids, teaching young kids how to do regular arithmetic, and just fell in love with it, and ran from there. The difference between that atmosphere and the one that I recently was in, it's like Nassau Community College has more of a diverse community, and because it's smaller, you get a lot more attention. That helped me really specifically helped me figure out what I wanted to do. Communications was cool. I wanted a certificate, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. And so they put me in contact with a lot of other people, and I ended up at City College, which is also a public university, but it's a little bit smaller, and they specialize in special things. And from there I networked and met a whole lot of different people, and it was a good experience. I would say that leaving home is always good, but coming back home is even better.
Was there an aha moment when you realized you wanted to help, I guess, children and teens to, I guess, gain their experience in another field?
My aha moment was the school that I worked with, they worked with kids who had mild to moderate learning disabilities, grades 4 through 12. And I originally started out with middle school. And the high school students would always come in and ask me, "Oh, Miss Armstrong, what are you doing here? You know, why are you here? You look like you could be doing so many other things." And then I would stop and I would, gradually get to know them. It wasn't a large amount of them. It was a small private school. And it became that I was kind of like the person that they sounded off to. But the sound off was great. It was like, well, I don't know what I want to do when I get out of here. I don't know if the college will even accept me because I have small learning disabilities. And from there it was like, well, I want to help you. Like, teaching, you're helping, but at the same time I wanted to help on a different level. And I started this program, and they just ran with it. But it was kind of heart-wrenching to find out that a lot of kids didn't know about different career paths. So then it was, okay, I have to inform myself if that's what I want to do. If I want to help them figure out what they want to do with their lives, I have to find out a little bit more about what's going on in the world as well. I can't just be stuck in a box. And so here we are.
Now, what was the game plan for the children who couldn't fit into being a lawyer, being a doctor?
The game plan. My internship program was 2 weeks. 2 weeks, these kids were not in school. They went to work every single day. Of course, that took a lot of planning on my part, the administration's part, and the parents. The summer before I launched it, I was out in the community pounding pavement, just looking for different types of businesses that were open to having a child in their facility for 2 weeks. Not everyone is book smart. Everyone has smarts, but not everyone is book smart. Some people are better with their hands, some people are artistic, anything like that. And so you want to give them the chance to open themselves up to anything and everything. So yeah, we had a couple that I would put in law firms and, at a nurse's station, at a pediatric office, things of that nature. But I really tried to get all of the kids to try something different every year. And so I worked with a lot of community organizations that did outreach for, artistic abilities, a lot of music groups, because everyone's inclined for something, and then you had a lot of kids who were good at math but didn't know that in order to be good at math you could take it to like coding. So you didn't have to be a math teacher or anything like that, but you could be amazing on the computer, things of that nature.
Now, is there a follow-up program for those children who completed that?
So the follow-up program is going to college. Like, the whole main focus of this is to get you to go to school. You don't have to go to school to, learn about numbers and history, but you still should go to school to better your craft, whether it's art school, whether it's, taking musical courses at a college. Higher education is the main focus. That way you network and you can go through that whole period of finding out and meeting more people who are in the industry that you would like to go to.
Do you have any advice for people, I guess, almost in that stage of going to college?
Yes. Do research. The internet is open, right? There are a lot of things that are not correct on the internet, but there are a lot of things that you can learn from. Do research. If you know that you are musically inclined, maybe you don't want to be a guitarist or a singer, but you might want to become a producer. You might want to be somebody who's behind sound. There are so many different options, but you have to take the initiative to find out what's out there for you. You want to meet new people. surround yourself with people who have like the same goals. They may not want to be in the same industry, but they want to do something with their life. And so that's how you meet so many different types of individuals, and you become well-rounded. And that's the only thing that I can say that I instilled in any of the kids that I work with. Become well-rounded. You want to meet people, you want to show them that you're the person that you want to be, and so they should always be the person that they want to be, and that kind of like rubs off on everyone.
I guess to go along with meeting people, was there a specific role model who molded you to who you are now?
Yeah. My mom was very open about me always stepping outside of the box. And so she had me do a lot of things throughout high school that I never thought I was going to do. I did a lot of volunteer work with younger kids. I also did volunteer work at the hospitals. I have a younger cousin who has Down syndrome. I did a lot of work with her family, friends, and things of that nature. And from there, it was kind of like, okay, we're not all the same. But you have to come together and meet these people to figure out who you want to be, because you take something from everyone, you know what I'm saying? And you take the best. That's all you do. You always hope for the best and you take the best.
I guess in particular with your family, did your family always have a kind of path where you're going to college and you're going to do this?
I was the first person to graduate from college in my family. And it's a huge achievement, but it's also a lot of weight on your shoulders, because you're like, okay, I'm the first person. I want to instill this in the younger generations. And so, like I said, I know that some of my younger kids are not, my cousins are, some of them are not book smart, but they have the ability and the skills to become something great. So I'm always pushing them. Tell me what you want to do. Tell me what your thoughts are. Maybe we can get you into some type of program. And that's the main goal of it.
Now, what do you feel, I guess, drove you internally to?
Internally. I'm an only child. So as an only child, I always was like, I don't have anyone to talk to. You know, I didn't have anyone to play with. It was just me. And so then when it got to a point where I could reach in and touch other kids in a positive way, it just took off from there. And I enjoy it. I really do. I think that working with the younger kids is a blessing. And you love to see come back 5 years later and see where they are at, you know, where they were and where they are now. It's awesome to feel that you've done something that made a change in their lives.
Now, what are your future plans for your program?
Okay, so future plans. Right now, the program is very small that I work with. I'm hoping that it'll grow. I'm hoping that not only will it grow, but it will help more kids. We only take in about 20 kids right now, and it's very small. It's only run by 2 people. But also that the industry will open up and open their doors outside of our program. They'll ask for different high schools to come in and, you know, take tours of their agencies and things of that nature, because truth be told, like, you have more kids going to college these days, and so if you want the best, you have to show them the best, and that starts at a very young age.